Hello everyone and welcome to the Find Your Peak Fitness podcast, where fitness meets real life. I'm your host Megan Morensky and you're listening to the first and hopefully many episodes where we'll be diving into various health and fitness topics. So before we dive into today's topic, I want to give a brief introduction as to why I've created this podcast. So originally I'm from Scotland and I moved to America on a golf scholarship at the age of 18. I started paying attention to my health around my second year at uni, so sophomore year, when I realised my partying lifestyle wasn't really going to cut it if I wanted to be a successful professional golfer. So around the age of 20, I took a deep dive into my health and fitness, and I started watching what I ate and started working out more. And I did what most people do, and I drastically cut calories in an attempt to lose body fat. I also over-exercised, and as a result of that, I lost a lot of muscle. I had a poor relationship with food, I had a poor relationship with my body, and it took me years to build back. And it was more the mental damage more than anything, and I see that quite a lot when it comes to people's relationship with diet and exercise. Usually people have had a lot of negative experiences with health and fitness, hence why it never sticks. So fast forward to now, I am now a personal trainer, I'm an online fitness coach, and I currently am prepping for my first bodybuilding show. So it's crazy to think when I look back to how I was and where I was when I was 20, how I viewed diet and exercise. It was more like an obligation, like I must do this and I must not eat that. To now, where I love the training, I love teaching other people, I love helping other people, and I love learning more about my body, my capabilities, in my attempt to get stage lean. So more on that to come. I just want to give you a brief introduction. But overall, my primary goal is to help other people and is to help you get where you want to be, both physically and mentally, because it's a mental journey as well. So I work with people of all ages and all genders to get in the best shape of their lives, no matter their starting point, all by applying a sustainable approach. I use sustainable practices that lead to lifelong results. I have clients ranging from 18 years old all the way up to 83, believe it or not. So it's never too late. Everyone's got their own starting point. And I always reiterate to my clients that you're only competing against yourself. There's no one else in this game, okay? So this podcast was created to guide you through your fitness journey and save you the hassle and heartache of finding true sources of information that actually work. So with that being said, I want to lead into our first topic, which is focusing on the very beginning. And that is, what do you need to ask yourself before you start? So before you start any fitness or goal or your fitness journey, essentially, I want you to do this. And it's just a small exercise. And the first thing I want you to do is ask your why. Why are you starting this? And I ask this because a lot of people keep this quite vague. Or they do apply the SMART goals. If you don't already know what that is, it's an acronym for sustainable, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. But with that being said, they still fail to find that true why. So an exercise, and you may have done this in other aspects of your life, but it's doing an exercise called the 5 whys. So you ask yourself why 5 times. So for example, if I have a client that says they want to get in shape, I would then proceed to ask them, okay, why? And they say, because I want to lose 20 pounds. But why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Because I don't feel confident in how I look right now. Okay, why do you not feel confident? Well, because I avoid going out with friends, or I don't like wearing the clothes I like, or I can't wear the clothes I like. And I can ask them, well, why does that matter to you? Well, because it makes me feel left out and I don't feel like I'm being my true self. Okay, why is it important to not feel that way anymore? And they would respond, well, because I don't fully enjoy my life, I don't feel proud of myself, and I want to set a positive example for my kids. Right there is a true deep reason for this person's why they want to get in shape. You have to find something that's deep enough that's going to motivate you, but it's also going to allow you to say no to certain things. It's going to drive you to get up in the morning, to do the workout that you don't want to do. It's going to allow you to meal prep on a Sunday when you really can't be arsed. So finding the root reason for doing the thing will lead you not to just give up and walk out. If you just look in the mirror one day and say, I want to get in shape, you're going to just walk out and get on with your life. But if you do this exercise, you sit down and you do this, you're gonna leave feeling a lot different. You're gonna leave wanting to eat a healthy meal, wanting to be like, okay, like I really want to change. What do I need to do? What's the next thing I need to do to get to this point? I did this exercise when I first said I wanted to compete. I thought, yes, I do think it was partially because I missed competition. I played competitive golf for a lot of years, and all of a sudden that was gone, and I kind of missed that. So I do believe that was a driving force. But once I did this exercise, because I did ask myself, I was like, why do I really want to step on stage? It's not just, I don't want to just put my body through all this just to compete. Like, there's so many other sports that I could choose from. I could just compete in amateur golf. And I realised there's like quite an insecurity of mine. Like I said, I think it's just stemmed from maybe as a kid, but also what happened in my early 20s. And regaining almost like control of myself, of my body, and realising I'm doing it for more, maybe it's a bit of an FU to, the borderline eating disorder I had in my early 20s. So there's a root reason to why we do something, and it can be quite deep. So it can be uncomfortable, but I encourage people to embrace that discomfort. The next thing I want you to ask yourself is, where do you want to be at the end of this? And what does success look like for you? And this can look different for many different people. The reason I want people to ask themselves this is people focus a lot on scale weight, and they forget that the true reason they started this was, to get fit, to get healthier, to be happy, or whatever it is. And then they get so focused on the scale weight that they don't even realize they feel like crap. So it's, where do you want to be at the end of this? What does success look like? Is that you playing outside with your kids, being able to get on the ground and roll over with them, whatever it is, being able to run that marathon, being the person that says no to the sixth beer on a Friday, you just enjoy the first couple and you're good. Picture your future self, and what would that say to present you? This is a good exercise, especially when things are tough, because they will be. There's going to be times where you're going to be tempted when you're going out for that, or your friends invite you out for a total bender. Saying no to that, or just going, but saying no, like I said, to the 6th or 7th or 8th beer. Reminding yourself of, one, your whys, and also what would future you tell current you. Like, is this a really good idea? This allows us to understand the present discomfort is so temporary, and the reward is worth it. This is also known as delayed gratification. We live in a society where instant gratification is around us all the time, yet we still feel friggin' miserable. Hence why we need to lean into feeling the present discomfort and knowing and trusting that it's going to lead to something better in the future. And it does. Saying no to that donut in the office is going to be worth it down the line. The more no's you say now, the more yeses you have in the future. Okay? The next thing I want you to ask yourself is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Any change requires a sacrifice. And when it comes to your health and fitness journey, you will have to sacrifice time. You will have to sacrifice energy. And you will have to say no to certain things. That's inevitable. But if it's worth it to you, then it is worth the sacrifice. Okay? The last thing is money. Now, this is a funny one, and I do kind of laugh when people say that they don't want to join a gym because it's going to cost money, or they don't invest in coaching or personal training, whatever it is. They want to say no because it's just, I can't afford it right now. And there's two things I want to bring up here. One is usually they're spending money on other things like, takeout pizzas, alcohol, vapes, whatever it is. They're investing money in other things that don't need it, that actually impair their health. But also they don't realise that what they invest in now, they're avoiding higher payments later. If you invest in your health and fitness now, you're avoiding doctor's bills, hospital bills, all this down the line. Investing in yourself has never, ever, ever failed. And this is even when it comes to if you enjoy reading, would you not buy a book because it's expensive, or would you invest in it because it's something you enjoy, it's good for your mental health? So investing in yourself is huge. So money is something you have to sacrifice, but so's time, so's energy, and so's the ability to say no. But these are all things that have delayed gratification and true return on value. Okay? The last thing I want you to ask yourself is, are you setting yourself up for success? So how are you measuring your progress? This is one I want to emphasize, that a lot of people measure their progress in terms of, again, scale weight, and there's so many other ways to do that, to measure progress. What is a realistic timeline for your goals? If you're wanting to lose 25 pounds, how quickly do you think you will lose those 25 pounds? A lot of people underestimate the time it takes to do weight loss or fat loss the right way. Are these changes sustainable? I say this because I hear all the time people are on and off their diet. If you are one of those people that are on and off their diet, then this is not a sustainable approach for you. It may be time to change course. This leads into my next one, which is, are you applying strategies that won't do damage? So are you potentially applying strategies that might be doing more harm than good? And this is where expert advice can help. There's so much information out there, and a lot of it is a load of crap. These losing 10 pounds in, a week or whatever it is, or 30 pounds in 30 days, it's a load of crap. You may be applying strategies that maybe do more harm than good. There's a lot of information out there, which is good, but it's also bad. There's a lot of bad information out there. And again, this is kind of why I created this podcast. I wanted to clarify a lot of that information for listeners, so you don't fall into the trap of following these fad diets and actually harming your body more than nourishing it. So seeking expert advice, as in hiring a coach or a trainer, is huge, and they can guide you through that. There's so many different variables when it comes to changing physiques, or changing, if you want to lose body fat, gain muscle, whatever the goal is. And everyone's body is so different. There's no workout program or nutrition plan that you can find on Google that's going to apply to you. You need to find the one that works for you. And when you find the one that works for you, it's still going to change all the time, because your body's always changing, right? That's why you've got to constantly adjust. There's no one plan that's going to be, this is it for the rest of your fitness journey. This is what you're going to eat for the rest of your life. It's always changing depending on what your goals are, where your physique's at, your output, your energy output, all that. Everything's always changing, and you have to adjust to do that. And that's where hiring a coach can help. So that's the questions I want you to ask yourself. So next, I'm going to jump into the client shout out. This week, I'm actually going to shout out my mother-in-law, Sue. So Sue has been working with me since February. And prior to working together, she'd never been in a gym before. She had previous experience with Weight Watchers a few years back, where she did lose weight, but she was never strength trained, didn't pay attention to macros, and unfortunately regained it all. So I taught her a new approach, so tracking food, tracking macros, paying attention to protein, combining with strength training. So Sue was working out twice a week, and she's now currently doing 3 times a week. She's 26 pounds down already. So we completed phase 1 of the fat loss phase. We went into a bit of a maintenance / deload phase for a little bit, and now we're entering the second fat loss phase, where we're going to lose another 10 pounds. So you can head to the Instagram page if you want to see Sue's before and after picture. It's truly amazing what she's done. She's 61 years old. So that's what I want to emphasize. Everyone is starting out at their own point. So do not put any limits to what you think you can or cannot do. Like I said, I've got a client who's 83 years old. And strength training, it's incredible. It's never ever too late. You find your point, you get your starting point, and you go from there. You take that first step. So great job to Sue. Shout out to her. So head to the Instagram page just now, see the before and afterwards. Next thing I'm going to jump into is the listener challenge. So this week, I want you to ask yourself, first off, are you wanting to change? And then I want you to do the exercise and go through the questions that I discussed previously. Starting with the 5 whys. So ask yourself, what is your why for why you want to do the thing? If it's you want to lose weight, ask yourself why do you want to lose weight, and go from there. And I want you to write this down. I want you to go through all the questions. So do the 5 whys first. Then ask yourself, where do you want to be at the end of this? What does success look like for you? What are you willing to sacrifice? And are you setting yourself up for success? Go through these, and I want you to write this down. If you just think it it doesn't really become true and your thoughts kind of get muddled together. So make sure you're writing it down. Bullet point it, do it whatever way you like, but write it down. Now, this may be uncomfortable, but I encourage people to embrace the discomfort. No change will come from doing the same things over and over again. So embrace the discomfort and then take the next step, okay? If you are interested in coaching, then head to the Summit Coaching Instagram page, which is linked below in the show notes, and you can send me a message, or you can use the link in my bio to book a free consultation call where we'll dive more into your goals and get you started on your journey. So, as I said before, with coaching, you'll be working directly with myself, where I'll provide you with custom workout plans to suit your lifestyle. So whether you're working out at a gym or at home, you'll also get nutritional coaching, formal weekly check-ins, you'll get 24/7 accountability and support. You also get access to a private Facebook group, and most importantly, you will get the results you deserve. Everything is fully customized to suit each client's needs, and I take you where you're at just now and get you where you want to be. There's no cookie cutter programs. Take the leap now, you're not going to regret it. If you change nothing, nothing changes. So I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, then please give it a 5-star review, share it with your friends on social media, and please reach out if you have any specific topics you want me to cover. Make sure to subscribe and have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.